Fears of financial crash hit Wall Street. Thatcher rallies Tories for next election. In South Africa, preparing for Sisulu's release. And Nun's Hens win stay of execution. Good morning, the news from TVAM on Saturday the 14th of October. In America, there are fears of another financial crisis as the value of Wall Street shares collapsed in the second biggest fall in history. Some experts are worried there'll be a repeat of the Black Monday crash 2 years ago, when the country's economy appeared to be on the brink of collapse. From Washington, Anthony Dworkin reports.
Until lunchtime, trading had been normal. Then suddenly the market went into free fall, ending the day down nearly 200 points. Brokers said the panic selling started with rumors of the failure of a huge buyout deal for the company that owns United Airlines. In a few hours, £130 billion worth of stock values were wiped out, the biggest collapse since Black Monday 2 years ago. With memories of that crash still vivid, Wall Street is now waiting nervously for the markets to open next week.
So they threw everything out today, but nobody knows what happened on Monday.
Only a week ago, the market had reached a record high, and last night the American Treasury Secretary said the economy continues to be healthy. Anthony Dworkin, TVAM News, Washington.
Conservatives are back home after a rallying speech from Mrs Thatcher at the party conference in Blackpool. Despite rising inflation and interest rates, the Prime Minister supported Chancellor Nigel Lawson, saying the economy is on the right course. Sean Holden reports.
The rough winds of economic difficulty dominated the Conservatives' week at Blackpool. Representatives looked to Mrs Thatcher's speech to stiffen party morale. She obliged, backing Nigel Lawson's tough strategy against inflation.
Inflation will come down through the use of high interest rates, as it has in the past.
There was scorn for the new-look Labour Party. Nothing has changed, she said. The emphasis was on Conservative achievements of the past 10 years, but there was a specific commitment on the future of the health service.
The National Health Service will not be privatised.
At the end, the audience went wild for 10 whole minutes.
Thought she was marvellous. Hope she goes on forever.
Oh, it was a marvellous feeling. I think she has put a new power in the people.
The conference obviously loved it, but it's from here at Central Office that Tory leaders now have to get Mrs Thatcher's message to the voters. Their success depends largely on Mr Lawson's ability to get the economy right. Sean Holden, TVAM News, London.
Private contractors are being hired to clean the Royal Navy's fleet of warships. The Ministry of Defence says the move is to free crews from the drudgery of routine tasks. Contracts to clean ships at naval bases in Devonport, Portsmouth and Rosyth have already been agreed. The work, which includes painting, starts later this month. Just days before the next meeting of the Anglo-Irish Conference, British concern is growing over Ireland's decision not to prosecute Father Patrick Ryan. The Catholic priest, wanted here in connection with an IRA bombing campaign, has attacked British justice as an evil system. He claims Dublin's refusal to press charges against him proves his innocence. In South Africa, the black activist Walter Sisulu, who was jailed 26 years ago, is expected to be free this weekend. Anti-apartheid leaders are preparing for rallies across the country to celebrate the release of Sisulu and 7 other political prisoners. Michael Voss reports.
A large crowd has been preparing for the release of Walter Sisulu outside his home in Soweto. He is by far the most important figure to be freed by the South African government so far. Only Nelson Mandela is left behind from a group that was jailed for treason back in 1964. Walter Sisulu's wife, Albertina, has been allowed to speak publicly for the first time about her husband.
To me, he's just the same. Politically, he is strong. His views are still the same. He hasn't changed, not even an inch.
Anti-apartheid leaders now want to hold victory marches throughout the country. One militant newspaper expects more than 250,000 people to take part. Michael Voss, TVAM News.
The Northamptonshire nuns who've been fighting to save their flock of 5,000 hens have been granted a 4-day reprieve by the High Court. The Ministry of Agriculture wants to destroy the birds, claiming they're contaminated with salmonella. Susie Grant reports.
The Ministry of Agriculture's first attempt to slaughter the hens was abandoned when 6 of the nuns barricaded themselves inside the hen house. Yesterday, the Mother Superior, who's leading the nuns' battle, took her fight to the High Court and was given till Tuesday to prove her hens healthy.
Well, I feel that the government has moved the goalposts because they're fighting in a technical way that doesn't take account of the facts.
The lawyers now have less than 48 working hours to prepare the nuns' case.
It's a very tall order, but we shall certainly do our very best. This is a monastery that really believes in their cause. They're fighting for themselves, they're fighting for the birds, they're fighting for their industry.
Between now and Tuesday, the lawyers will be preparing scientific evidence which they hope proves that the salmonella allegedly present in the nuns' flock is of no danger to the public. Susie Grant, TVAM News at the High Court in London.
Finally, a look at today's weather. This morning there'll be showers in Northern Ireland, the west of Scotland and northwest England, though these will die out later. The rest of the country will be mostly dry and bright. Top temperatures will be 14 degrees centigrade, that's 57 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the news this morning. Now back to Jeff Clark.